The factory original mirrors, the mounting spots on them are all broken. So I've been trying to find a set of replacements. I found these on eBay. I'll leave a link for them. They're just kind of generic-y plain plastic, but they fit pretty good and they kind of match the aesthetic. Yeah, that'll do. For the exhaust, I bought a kit off Amazon that's just 2-inch, a bunch of pre-bent. I'll try and cobble something together with that. The don't piss the neighbors off too much 5000 system has been working fine, but I need something a little more mobile. So here's what I came up with. Got a little piece of flex and a bit of a 90 and some pipe. It's still gonna be loud as shit, and it probably isn't gonna last very long, but technically it's an exhaust system. Before we go on the inaugural test drive, I'm going to go ahead and replace the filter coming from the tank and the filter up top. I'm going to do a little rerouting on the line up there as well. This filter's got maybe 5 or 10 minutes of runtime on it, and it's already looking pretty gross just from the junk that was in that line from the tank. So give us our best shot. We're just going to go ahead and swap it. So this setup has been fine with the filter up here, but I want to run the air cleaner, and where it sits, this protrusion on the bottom is interfering with the filter. So I'm going to move the filter down closer to the pump. With the fuel line redone, we can mount the air cleaner and put it where it's going to live, hopefully for a little while. Much more clearance out of here now. And reattach our PCV breather over here as well. All right, I think we're ready for a test drive. It pulls to the right real bad.
I should have been recording the drive.
I am. No fifth, I don't think. Now that I got the test drive out of my system, I'm gonna get the seats pulled out, pull the carpet out, see what's underneath, get everything as clean as I can. Seats are out. I took out the lower HVAC controls. There were 2 screws hiding under there. I gotta figure out what I'm doing with this seatbelt wire. It doesn't really disconnect anywhere that I can see. But I think next step is pull the carpet out and see what it looks like. So there is a plug for the seat belt right here. So far the underside looks pretty good. Tape's still all holding the wire down. Let's see what the other side looks like where all the ants were. Ever since the car was delivered, I've been killing these carpenter ants all over the garage, and I finally found the nest. They've been living under the carpet. I believe we found the nest. Here is the aftermath after spraying some ant killer. They are just everywhere. With all the ants cleaned up, it's time to go ahead and tackle the carpet, get it as clean as we can. We're going to use a combination of the extractor and just a multi-purpose interior cleaner with the drill brush. It's not all going to come out, but the carpet's in pretty good shape considering. There's only a couple of weird holes, a couple of weird stains, but it is what it is. We're just going to repeat that a few times and see how it looks. This side came pretty clean. There's still some dark spots. I'm going to have to go over it a few more times. I haven't done the driver's side yet, but it wasn't as bad. There was a transmission sitting right there. But it's serviceable and it doesn't smell anymore. So I got most of the body kit painted with this satin granite Rust-Oleum. And then I saw the picture of this guy's. And I decided I picked the wrong color. So we're going to go back and try this gloss dark machine gray. And see how that looks, because I think it looks way better, the darker color. Unfortunately, the darker gray ended up being basically the same gray, but shiny, which is fine, I guess, for now. The driver's side door panel came off without breaking any of the clips. It's all just held on with the 2 screws for the handle, 4 screws for the speaker, and then the little clip that holds the window winder on. And then it should just pop right off. And we can see if this one's full of wasp nests too. Just work your way around it real slow. You don't want to break anything. Ooh, spiders. That is a brown recluse. They will send you to the hospital. I don't know what that thing is. Okay, spider threat dealt with. We didn't break any of the clips. When I did the Mustang, I broke every clip on that damn thing. None of these broke. This one is also full of wasp nests. So let's get all this off and we'll clean that inside up, get the window regulator cleaned and lubricated so we can actually use the window. The window regulator on this one runs, it's basically a coil spring. It's kind of hard to see if I can get you in there for that. With like a pipe cleaner in it. And the pipe cleaner has the grease in it and it runs along this track. The track is open from the back so you can get some grease and stuff in there. So I'm just gonna hose it down and work it a couple times and it should be good to go. This one freed up a lot better than the driver's side. Just gonna work it back and forth a couple times. While I have the door panel off, I'm going to address the lock issue. I've never had a door key for this car. So I bought a new set of handles. They both came broken. This is the tab that actually actuates the door lock. And they both were broken off. I tried to glue them on. As soon as we did the driver's side one, it broke instantly. So I'm keeping the factory handles. I'm just going to swap the key cylinders so I actually have a key that works the door. The lock cylinder is held in with this roll pin. You can use a tiny drill bit and just drive it out. I already got it started. They're not in there super crazy tight, but they should come out fairly easily. The locking actuator comes off. There is a little spring washer underneath, and then the spring itself rides in these little notches on the bottom of the cylinder. So all you have to do is pull the spring out. You can get a bite on it, and it comes right off. Cylinder comes right out the front. Now you could take this to a locksmith and have them make you a key for these, but the door handles are so cheap you just buy a new one that comes with keys. This is the old one out of the door. This is the new one, and this is the one out of a Fiat 128 or 127. You can see the pins are a lot narrower on the Yugo model. So if you're going to buy a door handle off a Fiat, the channel where the pins ride is a lot thinner on the Yugo one. So the handles are interchangeable, but you can't use Yugo keys with a Fiat handle. When the new cylinder goes in, make sure the protrusions for the wafers are down so you can line up the spring in the slots. You'll know you're on correctly when the spring actuates both directions. We go back on with our actuator, our little spring clip, and stick the roll pin back in it. Then the lock rod just presses back on until you hear a snap. So I had this pretty brass one on there, and then I figured out the roll pin positions are off. These are cammed for passenger side, driver side. So we're going to go back on with this one. So a neat feature on these cars, the red dot means unlocked, the green means locked, but you can't lock the door if it's open, so you can't lock your keys in your car. If the door was closed, it works perfectly. And now we have a key that works the door. So no one can steal my Yugo. While I'm waiting on the door panel to be finished, I am going to go ahead and put a stereo in it. I bought these cheapy piles, 5 1/4 3-ways in the front. The factory Yugo stereo was pretty lackluster, just a tape deck with a radio. There's only 4 wires coming off the harness, mono and power, not even a switched power. So they had, basically these were all just looped together. I've got them all cut so they can be separate speakers. We're going to replace the stereo with this, a no-name brand single DIN Android unit with a touchscreen that I got off Amazon for $50. This is an audible tone generator. It plays a sound over a wire that you can find with a probe. What I'm going to use it for is if you hook it up to a speaker, it'll play that tone over the speaker. So I'm going to plug in, identify the wiring on this side, so I can match it to my new harness, one speaker at a time. Here's the pinout I came up with if anyone else needs it. So here's the finished product. It's got Android Auto. We're finishing up some Dungeon Crawler Carl. It seems like it's an okay little system. We've got Spotify and Bluetooth. Touchscreen seems pretty responsive. Well, she's coming right along. We got a new stereo. We got to take it for a test drive. Carpets are pretty cleaned up. We're going to start putting the interior back together. The only bad news we found out was on the test drive, we did confirm that at some point someone swapped in a 4-speed transmission. So if anyone's got a 5-speed, let me know. I'll buy it from you. Thanks.